You're listening to the Loving Your Own Soul podcast, and I'm your host, Britt. Guided by my own intuition, my intention is to deliver genuine conversations centered around health and wellness, spirituality, self-expression, and culture. In this space, I will provide you with real-life stories, theories, and inspiring perspectives to help you uncover and tap into your own true potential. I'm so grateful you've chosen to tune in with me on this mindful exploration to living a more fluid life through a deeper connection to the soul. Now let's dive into today's journey. Welcome to the Loving Your Own Soul Weekly Digest. If you're new around here, I'm Britt, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Every Thursday, I will digest and decode a different health and wellness, spiritual, trending, or cultural topic so that you can better understand and feel more on trend in the ever-changing world we live in. This week, I will be giving you the download as to the ways our actions affect the lives of others. And as always, please do not forget that I am not a trained medical professional. And while I am certified through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I certainly do not claim to be an expert in any of these areas. Our weekly digest episodes simply stem from theories, research from qualified field professionals, my own findings and opinions on the areas we discuss, and for today, really my own experiences. So for any specific questions or topics you'd like to see on here, definitely feel free to connect with me on Instagram or shoot me a DM at Loving Your Own Soul. And please always remember to do your own research in this beautiful world we live in. It is totally okay to listen to that inner voice and question and make your own opinions or understandings about certain areas. So with that being said, let's dive in today. All right, so today's episode, it honestly has taken me probably the last 25 minutes to actually start recording this episode. I've gone back and forth, really exercising my throat chakra, because today I'm going to be opening up about a topic and an experience and something that has been really pivotal to my life as to where I currently sit today, but an experience that I have really not spoken publicly about because it has taken me over a full year to really digest everything that happened with this particular situation that I was really thrown into back in January of 2020 and kind of earlier, so December 2019. So really the topic of today is just the way that how our actions affect the lives of others, and all of our actions have a ripple effect out into the universe, the world, our society, our communities around us, sometimes in more ways than we really know or understand or are even conscious of. So a little bit of a backstory for you guys as to this situation and kind of the timing and everything that I'm going to talk to you about. So as you've heard me probably say before, if you've been here for a while, if you're new here, you might have even heard other gurus or experts, influential individuals in our world talk about the kind of understanding that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And I'm a huge believer in that. That is really why I've taken a lot of my own life experiences to do my work as a leader in the wellness industry to really give back and help others. It's so important. It has always really been a big part of who I am in general. But so things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So for those of you, actually, let me back up here just a little bit of a backstory because some of you may not even know this about me. So in 2020, I officially launched my holistic wellness company called Ambu, which has been a dream of mine for so long. It really just took certain events to really piece together the initial foundation as to what this dream looked like. But before that, this is not my first time working for myself. This is not my first time owning my own company. I actually started my own company alongside of my husband when we were just dating at the time, which was a marketing company that had a focus on digital marketing, social media management, PR, nonprofit strategy, a little bit of event management, mostly event management in the sporting industries, event consultation, nonprofit fundraising strategy, fundraising events, PR, digital marketing. And I think I just repeated myself there, which is fine, but just so you can kind of get an understanding of it. And this this company was really born out of my own experiences of feeling frustrated in the corporate world, just kind of being a witness to my life, a witness to various situations at various employers. I was really fortunate and I could call myself lucky, but I don't believe it's lucky. It's really just a highlight of all the hard work that I've put in throughout my life. I was able to really get started on my career early on. I had a lot of ambition, a lot of drive, and I was able to witness a lot of pretty incredible things and held a lot of really high caliber positions and worked with really high caliber individuals and a whole bunch. But basically, finally, kind of like the straw broke. And, the reason why I kept just searching for the something more was because I'm really meant to be my own boss. I'm meant to be independent, an entrepreneur. I have so many ideas. Just want to help people, and I have a clearer understanding of doing things with the best intentions for all involved in all things. So, long story short, started my own marketing company back in 2017, and it really didn't officially come into fruition until 2018 January 2018, when I really quit. No, it was 2017. I think I'm confusing the dates. But anyway, I had this company for about 4 years and did a whole bunch of things with it. It was incredible. Had a bunch of wonderful clients. It was a great experience. I loved working for myself. There was still a lot of wounds and patterning in there in my experience with my company that I hadn't really worked through. And it wasn't until the last 2 years that I really brought my life back into full balance. And as much as I love this company, I still felt like there was something more. I still wasn't making the impact that I wanted. I've never entirely jived with marketing in general because I do feel that there's just some underlyingness in there of really trying to promote brands for the purpose of making money, maybe not always for the best of intentions for other people. And I just always felt like there was still that something more while I was helping with other people's foundations and nonprofits and working with professional athletes and high-level corporations and was traveling not only the US but the world for work. I still was like, I'm just not making the impact that I want to. So I ended up later this year kind of taking a different route and really starting my holistic wellness company. But in the whole process, I had all these inklings. I had all these little intuitive moments, notions, messages from the universe, my own intuition, all different things. I would even tell people, clients of mine, when they'd be like, so what's your long-term goal with your company? And I was like, actually, I'm going to be a life coach, which is a very strange thing to tell people when they're paying, a lot of money and those who work for you to market their businesses and everything like that. But again, our souls know where we're going, what we need, what we're doing in this lifetime. It can just be hard for us to listen to them in the moments of being human sometimes. However, I wasn't fully listening to myself. I wasn't listening to the universe, to my intuition. I had kind of taken a different step at the end of 2019 where I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to pivot my business. And I'm obsessed with health and wellness. This is really what I care about. I have all this research. I know how to help people. I understand food and herbs and plants and all these different notions, mindset, joy, stress, etc. And I was like, I think I'm just going to take all this and do marketing for health and wellness companies. Well, that notion quickly changed because in December of 2019, I received a cease and desist for my company from a large national company. Now, I'm not going to say this company's name just for personal reasons and for their own reasons. However, this is just a topic, like I said, the ways our actions affect the lives of others. So, received the cease and desist. Ironically, I was actually in a location, which is where my Saturn ascendant line is, if you're interested in astrocartography, and was also in the middle of my Saturn return. And then a few weeks later was when my Saturn return in January of 2020 really ramped up to its full speed, which is what makes this experience just so interesting. So received this cease and desist. I've always had this petrified fear of getting in trouble, persecution, the law, etc., etc. I've always been so terrified that I've accidentally done something I wasn't aware of, and like I'm getting in trouble, I'm going to jail for life, etc., which I know is some old wounds from past lifetimes, some things that I've been carrying with me, lineage, ancestrally, that some is mine, some of it's not mine, that I've been really working to clear. But this situation just brought it all right smack in front of me. I was like, is this a joke? My father works in law. He's not this form of an attorney, but he looked at it, and then the holidays had came around, and you always have time to respond to things. But basically it was a cease and desist that we were in trademark infringement with this other company who held a trademark. Our company was in a trademark infringement with them. I had no idea about it, so we let it, the holidays came up, took a few weeks to look at it, then kind of went into it and was advised to actually work with a trademark and patent attorney to really just respond to this company. This is something that is actually can be kind of quite common. I've had a lot of individuals, peers, coworkers, things like that, corporations who have accidentally run into, say, a trademark infringement with the MLB or something. MLB contacts them. They say, hey, we're so sorry. We had no idea. The MLB says it's okay. Just take it down. I've heard of other people. Same thing with Disney. Oh my gosh, we didn't mean to. It's okay. Take it down, change it, etc. Well, we also, in the cease and desist, they wanted us out for a lot of money, all of our client relations, a whole bunch of things. So we hired an attorney, had him respond, and even he said, hey guys, don't worry. You're this small little marketing company, young individual, like these things happen. I'm sure they'll just respond and say it's okay. Well, what happened was they responded and were not interested in it being okay. This was about the middle of January 2020, pre-pandemic, the world flipping on its face. However, my world flipped on its face harder and faster than I could have ever imagined. So what took place was this attorney for the other side, the company that had us out for trademark infringement, we had no idea that the name of our company was in violation of the name of theirs, that they held all these trademarks, and that the language and broadness of it used is because this company is trying to become the Nike, so to say, of the world per their niche market. They were a big deal. And the thing that was funny was had heard of this company before. However, per how drastically different our companies were, never would have figured that there was anything wrong. And we had never looked at the trademark. So if you are a small business owner, if you have a company, if you are a blogger, if you are anyone of anything who has any form of a business, go onto the US Trademarks website and check it out. Make sure that you are in no infringement, because trademark infringement, trademark law is federal law. So basically what happened was the attorney on the other side was a bulldog of an individual. This person was not interested in, and this individual was speaking on behalf of the other company. And basically they wanted us out for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're going to go to federal court. It became a huge, terrifying nightmare that was completely accidental, had no clue what had taken place, that this was even a thing. And even our attorney who we were working with, he said, hey, this never happens. Like, he was like, this is wild that this company would be so adamant about this. So Long story short, this went into a several month process, and it was absolutely terrifying. I think the last 2 to 3 weeks of January into early February 2020, I went into a full-on depression. I don't think I left the house for like a week and a half. This was a pre-COVID, mind you. I don't think I took a shower for like 5 days. I could barely just get by with my day-to-day tasks. I was fully just all the emotions, all the feelings, all the stress, all the fears. And my husband and I, we had just gotten married in November 2019. And he was like, hey, we're in this together. It's going to be okay. He was freaking out. I could tell. At the time as well, we weren't drinking, still really are not drinking now, which was kind of a cool thing in that, you know, a very stressful situation. Typically you would go to a substance or something in the evenings to kind of help yourself, but not having that, I actually really appreciated not having any substances to add to the anxiety and everything else that was taking place. But yeah, I went into a full-blown depression. My husband was also traveling for work at the time, so he wasn't really home, and I just had to feel all my feelings. I could only take my dog for walks. I couldn't move. It took so much for me to just get up out of bed and continue. And so it's just our actions affect the lives of others. And unfortunately, we got in a situation that was with an individual who was trying to make money. This person was going to make money from the client, the company that had us out for trademark. And this individual was interested in not who we were, not the reality of the situation, nothing else except making a paycheck and trying to take money from innocent people. And we were just at their mercy, basically at this individual's mercy. So we had just had our wedding in November 2019, opted to spend a lot of my own personal money because we were really interested in putting up a wonderful experience for our guests and understanding that, you know, our parents shouldn't have to feel the need to pay for all of that and things like that. So it spent a lot of money there. It was going into the new year, had all these big dreams and desires. And because of it, we were instructed I had to release my clients because the longer that they were with me, the more this company could come out and say that any money they were paying me belonged to them. So I then had to pay out thousands and thousands of dollars for our attorney to continue responding and going back and forth with these people. And we didn't know if this was going to go to federal law, if this was going to be years, if we were going to be out hundreds of thousands of dollars, which we didn't have. That would take, you know, it was changing our entire life faster than we knew, and we weren't in control and could only communicate to our attorney, who could then communicate back to the other side's attorney. And it was just a wild situation that drastically affected everything. And then the pandemic hit, and collectively we all got flipped upside down, and I had to worry about my husband, who had an underlying chronic illness and autoimmune disease, and not knowing what was factual information, what wasn't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it was just a wild time. But what was interesting was in the whole process, and I really felt called as well, was I was like, there's no way this is just happening to us coincidentally. This is a synchronicity here. In the future, I know I'm going to be able to do something with this situation to help others, to instruct others. So I know a lot of you who listen to this have your own businesses or side hustles or podcasts or blogs or whatever it is. If you do anything today, please go on to the US trademark and see if there's anything active in the verbiage you are using that might belong to somebody else. Because even if you didn't mean to, I didn't mean to. I had no idea when we were setting up our company. We weren't instructed to do that. So definitely go do that. Please, please, please. And if you see it, don't get mad and think, oh, this might go away one day, because from experience, it won't. And I could say like it's better to be on the other side like me, who had no idea if the issue comes up. But if you look and you see it and you think you might be in infringement, just change your name. Use different language, because it's not worth it. by any means, especially if it's unintentional. And if it's intentional, then like really like check yourself and do something else. But anyway, while we were going through all this, I was like, I'm going to have to do something with this when the time comes. So this is my first time speaking on it, just to really help and educate people. But what's very unique and interesting and how the situation then rolled out months later is that the company who was out for us, quote unquote, later found out it was really the attorney who was out for us, not so much the company, is I just kept looking online, and it's a female-owned business, and their values are all about community and collaboration, and they have different mental health principles and really helping people that if you feel alone, you can come together with us, and these very core niche principles that just really mirror myself and my principles. And then the owner and founder of the company is a wonderful individual who has published work that's all about bringing people together and helping you feel less alone and finding your sense of community and doing good with your day and then empowering females. And I was like, what the heck? How is this possible? How is that? And I couldn't get off of it. And it's all I could think about was I was like, why would this individual who seems so incredible be so out to get a female business owner who is a very small, teeny tiny blip in the radar business owner? Like, why would, this individual be doing this? This just makes no sense. It doesn't match the company values. It doesn't match the individual's values. And in the land of PR and social media, and I was like, well, dang, they have such a core following. Like, number one, if this is who they truly are, their fan base and their audience deserves to know that it's not true. The values are not true. But I was like, or again, the intuition, this is where this is so important here. My intuition, I just couldn't settle with it. Once I came out of like the depths of my despair, I couldn't get it off of my mind. So time and time went on, and then we basically hit a point where it was, we're waving the white flag, like beyond. And it got to a point where it was basically, we only have one other option. We don't have any other option. If we don't at least try this crazy option that you're not even legally advised to do, we would end up in federal court, and it would be who knows? Who absolutely knows? But intuitively, I was like, something doesn't match up. It just doesn't match up. I don't feel right about this situation. So what happened was which again, you're not legally advised to do this. This is completely in any situation. You really never want to do this. But I was working, I was praying, I was meditating, I was working so strongly with the universe, my guides. I had actually asked for a message about 2 weeks ahead of this time, and I was just, somebody please help me. And a lot of my messages actually come through music and on a run while I was just, again, please show me a sign. The Galantis song, No Money, I think it's called, where the lyrics are, I ain't got no money, I'm not trying to be funny, I put it all out there, just like leave me alone today, or I don't know, something like that. I'll link the song in the show notes so you guys can listen to it. But suddenly this song came on and my body lit up with goosebumps. It was like the whole world unfolded, and it was my sign for what I needed to do. And I prayed on it and I worked with the universe, and I had really come to the understanding of, wow, that I was going to reach out personally to the owner of this company to attempt to settle things and to figure out if this individual, I think I said she was a female business owner. Yeah, if she even knew what was taking place. And I had a lot of channeled writing that came through, and I was really down to the conclusion that my actions by me reaching out to her, if she has no idea what this individual is doing and speaking for on behalf of her company and really tarnishing the reputation of her company, that number one, I would then be able to help her save her own company. And that by me reaching out and me opening the door, which again, you're not legally advised to when you're in these big situations. For me, it was the riskiest thing I've ever done because, long story short, it ended up working out. It could have gone completely the opposite way. So it was a huge risk, but intuitively worked with my guides, worked with the universe, and knew this was what I had to do. And I felt that so strongly that my actions were then going to be able to help her and help open her eyes to something she may not know about. Or in return, the way that we were being treated was actual true to who they are really and not who they're portrayed in the public. And then this would be a big, unfortunate PR campaign for her followers and audience to know that they have kind of been filled a bunch of bullshit. So I reached out, and it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. It was the scariest moment the last several months of dealing with this, but actually reaching out was a whole new level of fear, but I knew in my heart it was the right thing to do. And I did, and sure enough, about less than 24 hours later, she had responded. Obviously, I had to reach out through message with the written word and was hoping to then have a phone call. She reached out. I could actually cry almost relaying this information to you guys. She had no idea. And she said, hey, this happens. We have people from China trying to rip off our brand and all these different things all across the world. And I'm sure we're all familiar with the way, even just like the fake Instagram account bots that like steal our name. But imagine if you're a huge national company, what goes on? And she was like, all we want for you to do is change your name. But she was like, keep doing business. I'm so thrilled you're a female business owner. And for me, keep doing business was a joke because I had to release my clients. Then the pandemic hit. So with marketing, nobody is wanting to spend marketing dollars when the entire US is shut down. And on top of it, we were paying out our attorney, like I said, thousands and thousands of dollars just to respond to these people. Anyway, she was wonderful. She is true to who she is, who the media portrays her to be, who her company is, and she had no idea what was taking place. So that's what happened. So one individual's actions really twisted and turned and changed my whole world, but then my actions were able to change her whole world. And of course, I don't know what took place after the fact. I don't know whatever happened between them, except we had to give it time. We obviously shut our company down, changed the name. I did restart completely new, a small marketing company to try to make dollars, etc. And then at the same time, I then ended up starting my holistic wellness company. So it was this beautiful silver lining in and of it all. But what I'm trying to say here is you never know the ripple effect that's going on per your actions and per your sense of being in the world. Do what's best for you. Utilize your intuition, and don't be a shitty individual because it's going to come back to get you. Obviously, keep yourself first. Put your energy first, but listen to your intuition. We all know if we're doing things that are not correct, like this other individual. And at the same time, our actions, when done with malicious intent, can really affect the lives of others so much more strongly than we ever know. And at the same time, if you get an intuitive hit, follow it. Do yourself justice, do the rest of the world justice, and follow that because you never know what can happen in return of it. And then, like I said, I wasn't fully listening ahead of this. So what happened to this situation? This situation was the universe screaming at me to pivot and do what I wanted to do the entire time. So take action before the universe has to scream at you. Now, this is a very dramatic and very obscure situation that probably all of you listening will hopefully never have to deal with. If you ever do, come to me. I'm here for you. Would love to chat through it with you. I know how absolutely gut-wrenching, terrifying it is. I thought my life was over. I really did. There were a lot that I thought my life was over. I never knew how we were going to get out of it. I never knew how would we buy a house one day? How would we have kids one day? How would we ever live the life we wanted to live? Because the amount of money that was being demanded from us, and then had we gone into court, and just the amounts of money is absolutely insane. So follow your intuition, take action before the universe has to scream at you. But then also in certain situations, if you feel that something's not right, listen to that, because it may not be. Just like mine. I felt it. I was like, this cannot be real life. And sure enough, it was different than what was being portrayed to us. So there's always two sides to every coin. We always have the option to take action. But at the end of the day, just know your actions are affecting the lives of others. And sometimes you can be very beneficial to someone too. I'm sure that situation, hopefully, I don't know, I don't think I'll ever know, but hopefully shifted their company, hopefully saved their reputation from a bigger ordeal down the road, hopefully brought some light into who they had working for them and just all the things. And that's what makes me feel so good about it, and kind of as a beauty underneath of it all is in return was able to then kind of help them and give back to them and just all the things. And with that, the universe always has your back. When a situation doesn't work out or it seems like the end, just know that there's often something so beautiful coming for you at the other side. It's the hills and valleys, the lows and highs, but just know that the universe truly does have your back. And while something may seem so one-sided or so the world is crashing down on you, there can be so much beauty just after it if you just keep your faith, pause, breathe, pray, meditate, work with your guides, work with the universe, ask for signs. We'll have a whole nother episode all about that. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to you. If not, just another piece of my journey. Like I said, this is my first time publicly sharing this. I don't know what I'll do with this information. Aside from this, I just really felt called to open it up and start talking about it. Thank you all so much for tuning in here today. And like I said, I would love to connect with you. So if we haven't connected yet, definitely shoot me a DM on Instagram at Loving Your Own Soul. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's weekly digest, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you again soon.